Alright, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I ran out of time while making this video, so I'm just going to explain what this video is about, and then you can decide if you want to keep watching it. Alright? Omori is a story-driven RPG game that is very, very well written. Its primary goal is to visualize what characters are going through in their heads, particularly depression and how the main character Omori deals with it. While we play, the story reveals more of itself bit by bit through vague cutscenes, leading to a climactic reveal that suddenly makes it all make sense. All of the characters are wonderfully written, and what happens to them as the story goes on broke my heart into a million pieces, and I'd love for it to do the same for you. So if you want to go through the same thing, keep watching. If not, here, I have a present for you. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you can relate to any of these characters, maybe what I have to say about them will help you understand yourself just a little bit better. Or maybe not, who cares? Let's get started. But first, I am literally sleeping on my dad's couch. So, this video is brought to you by Raycon. Listen dog, if you spend any time on YouTube, you probably heard of Raycons before, and they're pretty slick. For those of you that haven't, Raycons are affordable, great sounding earbuds that come in at half the price of other premium headphones. I've been using it at the gym whenever I'm bored as hell. I just put on podcasts or a long ass Wendigoon video, and it helps me tune out while I pick up heavy objects and put them down again for 1.5 hours. They also got these extra little protective cases which you can get for them. I got the Pink Clouds one because I'm fruity like that, but I genuinely don't know why other headphone brands don't do this. They also come with a shit ton of different earplug sizes, so no matter how f***ed up your ears are, you can still get a comfortable and noise isolating fit. It also comes in a ton of different colors and has a long ass battery life. So do yourself a favor by clicking that link in the description and go to buyraycon.com/LeonTalksALot to get up to 30% off site-wide. Massive shout out to Raycon for sponsoring this video, and I hope you all enjoy. Alright, back to the video. Welcome to Cracker Space, or as the game calls it, White Space. You have been living here for as long as you can remember. White Space is Omori's safe space, aka his bedroom. A place where Omori has been cooped up for the last 4 years with only 4 things: his cat, his computer, his notebook, and a black light bulb hanging from the ceiling. To escape, we simply opened the white door. Doing so and stepping out of White Space, we're instantly greeted with our 3 childhood friends: Kel, Aubrey, and Hero. Let's break down the members. Kel. Short, ugly, crazy combination. Hero is the oldest person in the group, and arguably the first person in it, forming a connection with his neighbor and classmate Mari, who is our older sister. Them hanging out together would lead to Hero introducing his little brother Kel to us, forming our friendship. Sometime later, the group would stumble across a crying little girl called Aubrey, who was upset after losing her shoe. Through this chance encounter, they would end up forming a bond as they continued to hang out afterwards, eventually leading to her introducing us to our 5th and final member, Basil. As Hero is Kel's older brother, he's responsible for keeping the peace between the kids and loosely guiding them. Despite this, he has a very warm-hearted and caring demeanor, often too caring, making him a pushover even in situations where he should stand his ground. Kel is just a run-of-the-mill, goofy kid, happy and energetic in a really lovable way. Lastly, we have Aubrey, who is actually Sunny's crush, although they don't ever seem to confess their feelings for each other. Aubrey herself is an uplifting and cheerful girl that stays true to her feelings, even if it means pissing off Kel, aka being a fucking bitch. Heading over to the playground after a short tutorial, we meet up with the rest of the group, which greet us as soon as we enter. This is Mari, our older sister. She's kind, reaffirming, and almost never seen without a smile on her face. Something that I didn't pick up on until later is that Mari and Hero are actually in a relationship, although they seem to hide it whenever they're around the kids, which is really cute. Besides Mari, we're also introduced to my favorite character, Basil. No, Basil, no. You don't understand, but you will. Basil is the most sweet, kind, loving, selfless individual who, despite the flower crown, yes, is actually a boy. Growing up with his grandma who taught him to nurture and look after plants, he feels a strong need to protect others and is very attached to those he loves, probably stemming from his parents' abandonment of him, leaving a hole in his heart, which he attempts to fill with his friends. Basil also has another hobby besides flowers, that being photography, often taking photos of the group for safekeeping in his photo album. After spending some time looking at Basil's photo album, Basil eventually invites the group into his house, an old shoe hidden away in a beautiful cave. As we make our way past Basil's flowers and into his house, The gang decides to look at Basil's photo album. One of the pictures falls out, however, and as Basil looks at it, he's reminded of something that he desperately wanted to forget. Huh? That's strange. The photo must have been loose. Huh? What is this? Did I take this photo? Something about it seems so familiar. No, that can't be. Mari! The world resets, sending us back to white space. This time, however, there is no door to be found, only a knife and one option to pick from. We come to, unsure if we're truly awake or just in another dream. Standing up, we notice that we have a new voice message from our mom, telling us that we only have 3 days before we leave our childhood behind, encouraging us to talk to Kel, our old friend, one last time. Stepping out into the hall, we may enter the bathroom or our mom's room, but neither have anything of note. Our only way forward is the stairs leading us down. But when we do, something seems to be holding us back. We walk a few steps, stop, and then shake our head, and walk back up. Trying to walk back down again, Omori gives us excuses instead. You don't want to look down. You feel dizzy. Maybe you can sleep it off. Trying to do so doesn't work either, leading to our stomach desperately begging us for food. Problem is, the kitchen's downstairs. Now, not only that, but, hey yo, who's shining the red light through the window, bruh? It's not only the windows, though. Looking down, we realize that the stairs are longer than a Martin Luther King speech. But unlike the real world, we're actually able to go down them. Now, what you're about to watch is one of the best representations of a panic attack I've ever seen. First, I'll show you what happens, and then we'll go over its symbolism. As we walk down the stairs, black hands appear all around us as we hear whispering and a heartbeat. Strangely, we find a knife on one of the steps on our way down.
It's a knife!
As we keep going, a massive hand starts chasing us until eventually... As we enter combat with something, we not only notice that Sunny starts the battle afraid, but our options have also been limited, replacing the usual 4 with only 2 options: fight or run. Attempting to fight leads to nothing but losing health. Attempting to run doesn't even let you choose it in the first place. So with no other choice, we tussle with this no dentist head ass boy. Though as we fail over and over again, something starts talking to us. Sunny, take a deep breath. Don't be afraid. It's not as scary as you think. Through this, Omori steadies himself and remembers how to calm down. Using your new skill, Omori shuts his eyes, takes a deep breath, and exhales slowly before opening them again. As we open our eyes, we arrive at the bottom of the stairs. Alright, let's break it down. If we look into the game's code, this monster is actually called Heights, so it's safe to say that he is quite literally fighting his fear of heights. Because of this, I assume that while going downstairs, Omori starts freaking out at the thought of falling, causing a panic attack. To quote Wikipedia, yes, I'm using Wikipedia, what are you gonna do, give me a fucking bad grade? Panic attacks are sudden periods of intense fear and discomfort that may include palpitations, sweating, chest pain, shortness of breath, trembling, dizziness, numbness, confusion, or a feeling of impending doom or of losing control. In this depiction, the shortness of breath, trembling, dizziness, heart palpitations, and intense feeling of impending doom are very well represented. But the most realistic part is how he deals with it. The skill Calm Down is very much a skill you can use in real life. If you remember, Omori simply closes his eyes and takes one long drawn-out breath. In real life, it's pretty much the same, as slow and deep breaths slow down your heart rate and reactivate your parasympathetic nervous system responsible for resting and digesting. This is opposed to the sympathetic one, responsible for fight and flight responses, aka the very panic attack you're experiencing. In fact, the next time you feel anxious, try it. You'll be amazed at how effective it is. Simply stop and take long, drawn-out breaths. Going to the kitchen for some microwave steak. You eating the steak with a fucking roll of towels, bruh? We eat it, get sick, and throw it right the fuck back up into a toilet bowl. When we walk out of the bathroom, though, we can hear something pounding at our front door. Going to answer it, though, might not have been the best idea. What is that? Nah. What is that? Ah, fuck. Can I go back out there? No. He's like, hell nah. Ignoring the demonic ghost lady that just barged into our home, we say, f that, and get some hair. I mean, go to bed. Not only does this bring us back into the dream world, but this time, we can't find Basil. Not at our house, not at the playground, and not at his. Instead, we find something standing where we last saw him at his home. Well, doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. Do you think Basil just left somewhere without telling us? I don't know. It doesn't sound like him. He's usually so considerate about these things. Guys, I'm really worried. Is there nothing we can do? What if we can't find him? What if he's in danger? Stay calm, Aubrey. I'm worried too, but that won't solve anything. Let's go look around the forest. Maybe he wandered off and got lost. Not being able to find him causes the group to start panicking, particularly Aubrey, who has to be consoled by Hero before she can calm down, promising to her that we'll find Basil in the vast forest around the playground. This is our main objective for the rest of the game, find Basil. And this ain't a simple case of, oh, there he is, look guys, I found him. Nah, this is a journey that will take us into the darkest parts of Omori's mind, containing memories that he'd wish he could just forget about. But that part of the story is a million miles away, so step 1. The vast forest. This is where the game opens up a lot, essentially letting you explore and level up with gameplay that is extremely similar to Pokemon, minus the glorified dogfighting. And straight up, I don't like this. It's not my kind of game. And since most of what happens in the dream world isn't really relevant to the main story, I'ma just cut it out and get to the representations of mental illnesses that we're both interested in. Not finding Basil anywhere in the vast forest, Kel has the idea to try and climb the big-ass ladder just east of our home. What does the ladder lead to? Well, the second most boring quest in the game. That's what it leads to. So I'm not gonna bore you with that. Besides, turns out he isn't here either. Turns out that we did that entire quest for nothing, because as soon as we leave, we actually find Basil. Or, well, rather, a shadow version of Basil, leading us into a forest. As we enter, our friends disappear, and the music seems to slow down. Walking further, we start encountering items that remind us of our memories. Memories of eating watermelon on the beach, or Mari's cookies at the park. Continuing to follow the ghost version of Basil, he leads us to a barn with the same ominous-ass red light that we saw above the stairs. Once we're inside, Basil leads us to a big-ass picture frame. A picture frame containing a picture that we tried to forget about. As we enter the memory, we ascend a large amount of stairs that lead us to 3 things. Sheet music on a music stand, a family portrait, and a light bulb, suspiciously shaped like a noose. Trying to walk away from it, the black figure from before appears and swallows us whole. As that happens, we get split-second frames depicting Basil. Slowing this down in editing software, we get a way better look. In this scene, Basil is depicted in the dark, holding a book and looking at a picture, all while a dark shadow lurks over him. A monster that is shockingly similar in appearance to ours. Just as before, the world resets and we're brought back to white space. The only thing we can do now is to take out our knife and stab ourselves in the stomach, forcing us to wake up and leading to another cutscene. Waking up and leaving our room, we hear pounding on the door again. The exact same pounding as in our dream. Going to check it out, the person behind it claims to be our best friend Kel. Hello? Hello? Sonny? Are you there? Do you remember me? It's your old friend Kel. So I noticed the for sale sign in front of your house, and I heard from my mom that you were moving away soon. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out one more time before you go, or whatever. For old time's sake, you know? Now, while most people would go, "Nah, fuck that, I'm not making that mistake again," I am very, 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 very arrogant, and don't learn from my mistakes. So, being the dumbass I am, I grab the door handle and swing that bitch open. Yeah, sure, fuck it. How's it going, Kel? Please actually be Kel. Hey, let's go. Damn! Whoa, you actually came out! I mean... Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, Sonny. I really didn't expect you to come out today, so I don't really have a game plan here. Hey, I know. Let's go to Hobbies. It's a hobby shop in the faraway plaza. You remember the way, right? We used to go there all the time when we were kids. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go! If it wasn't clear from Kel's reaction, this is the first time that Omori stepped outside in years. 4 years, to be exact. Meaning that all of our friends are now significantly older and getting ready for college. The dream version of our friends draws from our childhood memories of what they were like, instead of how they act and look now. Kel himself has clearly grown a lot, from being a small naive little boy to a lanky teenager who speaks with the maturity of his older brother. The way our other friends have changed is incredibly fascinating too, especially Basil. But, well, we have to find them first. Walking outside is fascinating, as we get to see the real-life versions of various places, objects, and characters in our dreams. The playground being the most obvious example of this, but it's far from the only one. The intersection that connects our houses is also represented, not to mention the various video game characters that we manifest inside our dreams, like Captain Space Boyfriend or Sweetheart. Our dream version likely being way more colorful and romanticized to reflect the innocence and naivety of childhood. Speaking of the playground, if we return to it after helping Kel buy something at the mall, we can see, holy shit, it's Basil, seemingly begging a girl called Kim to give something back. Wait, don't go! Please! Sorry, dude. I can't help you. You're on your own. Uh-oh. There's some commotion going on over there. Let's check it out. This ain't none of my business. If you got beef with her, then talk to her yourself, you creep. I'm begging you, just ask her to give it back. She won't listen to me. Wait. Is that... That's Basil! Leave him alone, you bully! Huh? Who's there? Ah, it's just Kel. Ugh. Why don't you mind your own business? Well, why don't you go bother someone else, Kim? Psst. Why aren't you acting all high and mighty? You don't make the rules around here. What's going on over there? Oh, hey Aubrey. This nerd Kel just showed up and thinks he can boss me around. Let's show him what's what. Kel, what do you want? Stop messing with Basil. How could you? We all used to be friends, don't you remember? Tell her, Sonny. Sonny's here? Whoa. It really is you. It's been a while, but you haven't changed a bit. How long has it been since you left your house? 3 years? Maybe 4? Must have been real nice to live in your own little bubble. Watch it, Aubrey! You don't know what he's been through. Whatever. Aubrey, please, listen to me. Hey, stop that. Leave it alone, Kel. This isn't your problem. What the heck is wrong with you, Aubrey? Ugh, Sonny, come on. We got to do something. Are you guys really picking a fight? Sure. Why not? The two of you against me. How's that sound? Come at me! I'll take on both of you. Turns out the person who was bullying Basil was a part of Aubrey's bike gang. And even though we're just trying to help our childhood friend, she insists on trying to beat our ass. Unlike the dream world though, we don't have any of our skills or items. Well, we do have... Go gadget, big ass kitchen knife. Aubrey, why'd you back away? Sonny, he has a steak knife. What? Come on, we gotta get you out of here. Ah, you'll pay for this. Oh, that was about to get really messy. Good thing you had your knife there, or we would have been... Wait a second! Give me that! Kel took away your steak knife. You shouldn't be carrying around things like this, Sonny. That's dangerous. Aubrey's really changed since you last saw her. Her and her new friends have been nothing but trouble. Poor Basil. Let's check if he's okay. Hey, Basil. How you doing? Ah. I'm fine. Thank you, Kel. I don't know if you noticed, but Sonny's here too. Say hi, Sonny. Oh. Hey, Sonny. It's been a while, hasn't it? Woohoo! What a happy reunion. So, did you want to hang out with us today? Oh. I'm sorry. I'd love to, but I should probably head home. Huh? Really? You sure? My grandma hasn't been feeling too well lately. I'm sorry to hear that. Let us at least walk you home. It's been so long since we've all hung out. Oh, alright then. Thank you. As we speak to Basil, he seems a lot more nervous than in our dreams. Maybe a general nervousness from being around a longtime friend you haven't seen in years. But his facial expressions seem to be that of fear, not nervousness. Something about Omori being there makes him uneasy, even rejecting the offer to hang out with us and Kel before he convinces Basil to at least let us walk him home. Upon reaching it though, he opens up about needing our help. Thanks for walking me home. No problemo. If you ever need anything from me, just ask, okay? I'll catch you later, Basil. Okay. Wait! Please don't go! I'm so sorry. I actually have a favor to ask. Anything, Basil? What do you need? Well, you see, something important was taken from me when we used to be friends. Do you remember how I used to take pictures of everyone? Yeah, of course I remember. Those photos meant everything to you. Ah. Right. Well, Aubrey, she took my photo album and... Aubrey stole your photo album? Well, she won't give it back. What a scumbag! Don't you worry about a thing, Basil. Me and Sonny got you covered. Ah. Okay. Thank you. And by the way, about what you said before. We're still friends. I want you to know that, okay? Okay. Well, I'll see you later. Come on, Sonny! There's no time to lose. We got a photo album to find. Let's check the faraway park for clues. Finding nothing at the park, we managed to pay some crackheads for a location in exchange for some candy. Actually, now that I think about it, that might have just been crack. Either way, we figure out that Aubrey is apparently at a church. Something that surprises us, seeing as how Aubrey wasn't very religious before the group stopped being friends. Walking in while trying not to disturb the sermon, we confront Aubrey.
Aubrey! Psst! Aubrey! What the heck are you guys doing here? We want you to give back Basil's photo album. You're still on about that? That's none of your business. Really? None of my business? We all used to be best friends, but now this is none of my business? Yeah, Kel. Exactly. We used to be friends. You know, Mario would be really sad to hear that. Really? You really want to bring Mari into this? Who cares what Mari thinks? Mari's dead. Aubrey, seriously? What's wrong with you? I get that you have new friends now, but you can't just forget about your old friends like that. My old friends? My old friends weren't there for me when I needed them. So that's what this is all about. When Mari passed on, we were all dealing with our own stuff. We were kids. It was hard. You think it's all so simple.
You've always been simple, Kel.
So what if I am? I'd rather be simple than be like you. How could you do that to Basil? You know how important his photo album is to him? It's important to all of us. That doesn't mean you can just steal it.
Is that what Basil told you? I'm the one keeping it safe.
What are you talking about? That photo album belongs to Basil, and I'm not leaving until you agree to give it back. Ugh. You're so persistent. When Mari died, you moved on so fast. You know why I come here every week? Even after all this time, I'm still trying to find some peace.
But it doesn't look like that's happening today.
We haven't talked in 4 years, Kel. A lot changes in 4 years. You and Sunny think you can just barge back into my life and tell me what to do? Don't be so naive.
You might look different and act different, Aubrey, but you're still the same person.
The Aubrey you knew is long gone. And the Aubrey that was your friend, she's long gone too. Okay, fine. I get that you're angry. Look, if it's an apology you want, here. I'm sorry, okay? I should have been there for you when we lost Mari.
No. I won't accept this.
Wait! Where are you going? I can't let you go until you promise me you'll give Basil his photo album back, you thief.
What's happening?
Basil? Isn't that the boy who I've seen Aubrey and her friends bully? Now she's stealing stuff as well?
Oops.
You think you're the good guy, don't you, Kel? And I'm the big bad bully, here to terrorize poor defenseless Basil. You're the one hanging out with the psychopath who carries around a knife. Now's not the time to do this, Aubrey. You don't get to say that. You're the one who barged in here. I already said I was sorry for everything. If you want me to be a bully, then I'll be a bully. You two better come at me quick, or I'll come at you first.
Yeah, that's right. With literally every single person in the church watching, Aubrey wants another fade. This time smashing both of our faces in with a nailed baseball bat that she brought to church and forcing us to leave her alone before storming out. Following after, we reach her house only to see her dump Basil's photo album in the trash. For what reason, we're not really sure yet. Nevertheless, we head back to Basil and hand over the photo album. Instead of Basil, though, someone else opens the door, that being Basil's caretaker, Polly, who quickly invites us in for dinner. Despite returning his photo album, the tensions between Omori and Basil still seem to be high. It's only after we enter his grandma's room that Basil speaks to us privately.
Oh, Sunny. I didn't expect to see you in here. How are you doing, Sunny? Is everything okay with you?
Okay.
Never mind then. Grandma can't hear us, you know. She hasn't been feeling very well lately. It's already been 4 years, hasn't it? It's nice to see that you're still around, even if it's only for a little while. Here, take my photo album. I want you to have it. I'm trusting you with it, okay? I just think you can probably use it more than me. A lot has happened since these pictures were taken. Sometimes it feels like it was all a bad dream. It's hard to remember now, but I think at the time, I took photos of what I was the most afraid to lose. Flipping through this album, you can still see the good times. Maybe one day, things can go back to the way they were before. Sonny! Basil! Dinner's ready! Okay, coming! Joining them at the dinner table, Kel starts noticing that we have Basil's photo album. Oh, hey! What you doing with Basil's photo album there, Sonny? I gave it to him. I just thought he should have it. Whoa, really? That's cool of you. Makes sense. Especially since Sonny's moving away and all. What? Sonny's moving? Oh yeah. I thought I already mentioned it. I must have forgot. He's moving in 3 days, I think? Sorry, I thought you already knew. No, I guess I must have missed it. Sorry. May I be excused? I have to go to the bathroom. What's up with him? Well, that's just how it is. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Worried for our friend, we follow him into the bathroom to make sure that he's okay. Once we're in there, though, it's a different story. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Oh, it's you! Sonny, you're here. I'm so glad. You can see it too, can't you? Something behind you. As we enter, we see Basil sitting in the dark with the lights off crying, repeatedly telling himself that everything's gonna be okay. Surrounding him, black tentacles similar to the ones that haunt our dream can be seen. If we try talking to Basil, he'll respond by asking us why we're so scared. Sonny, why do you look so scared? Clearly confused at the horrified expression on Omori's face, despite being able to see the same monster that we can. Walking over to the mirror and looking into it, we can see a black, one-eyed figure standing behind us. The exact same monster that we saw at Basil's house when we first entered. I look scared of you, bitch. Don't care. Demon behind me. Don't care. Sadly for us, there's nothing we can do to cheer up Basil in this situation, forcing us to leave after interacting with everything else. Wait! Please, Sonny! Don't leave me! Not again! As the door shuts behind us, Basil collapses to the floor, putting his hands over his face to hide his tears. Attempting to re-enter the bathroom only leads to Omori shaking his head. Walking back into the living room, we can see that the others have already finished up with dinner, none the wiser to the mental breakdown that Basil is having in the background. Seeing as how Omori is a mute, and with no other option, we walk home with Kel in complete silence, with only passing cars reassuring us that our headphones are still plugged in. Hey Sonny, thanks for hanging out with me today. Sorry for all the trouble. It was a pretty crazy adventure, huh? I can tell you haven't talked to anyone in a while. But that's okay. It just takes practice. Anyway, Yero's coming back from college tomorrow, so I'm sure he'll want to see you before you leave. So, if you don't mind, I'll be coming back for you again in the morning. Good night, Sonny. Sweet dreams. Saying goodbye to Kel and walking into our house, we're instead greeted by another nightmare sequence. This time, concerning Omori's fear of spiders. This fight plays out almost exactly like the last one, with Sonny forcing himself to calm down before he can focus on the danger that's actually in front of him. Once we do, we can finally see the cause of this mental breakdown, that being a tiny little spider sitting patiently at the top of the stairs. Naturally, I immediately stepped on him to see what happens, and instantly crushed him into a million spider-sized pieces. Womp womp. Finally, after all that nightmare and worry, we lay our head down on our pillow and get some rest. Oh, but not before giving us another confusing ass cutscene, of course.
If you're even more confused now, good. At the end, this will all make a lot more sense. So, don't worry, it's not just meaningless garbage. After seeing Basil cry and cower in the bathroom alone and in the dark, it's clear that something about that black figure in our dreams is connected to what's happening to Basil in real life. And with only 3 days left until we move out, maybe finding Basil in the dream world can help give us some answers, both for Basil and for ourselves. Luckily, the rest of our friends are just as worried as we are, agreeing to search for Basil in the vast forest after linking back up with Mari at the playground. Hey, remember when I said that the ladder you climb leads to the second most boring quest in the game? Well, what we do next is the most annoying quest in the game, and I'm gonna explain why before you get mad at me. The quest essentially goes like this. Because of the nightmare sequence where you're able to get over your fear of spiders, we're able to venture through the vast forest that's covered in cobwebs. This leads to a boss fight that is very hard to beat, and your reward? A ladder leading to the most annoying character in the game.
How the f do you keep getting here before us? What the fuck?
Down there, we hand in the ticket that we got from beating up and robbing a group of sprout moles. This ticket is for a show. What is that show? Sweetheart's Quest for Hearts. Essentially, a bachelorette type show that aims to find a partner for the princess. Who does she fall in love with? Hero, of course, getting all of our asses thrown into the dungeon as soon as he rejects her. Great. What does any of this have to do with Basil, you might ask? Well, nothing, which is why I don't like it. Listen, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be in the game, but for someone like me who likes the story way more than the gameplay, this is just kind of annoying and drags me away from the part that I actually like. Mix that with an equally annoying soundtrack and boom. You have the least enjoyable part of this fantastic game. Once we finally escape, we can see another ghost version of Basil walk into a dark hole where the stage used to be. Worrying for our friend, and with nowhere else to go, we jump into the hole after him. As we fall deep into the dark abyss, our friends lose us on the way down, with us ending up at a library that looks shockingly similar to the layout of our house. Here we can find books that hint at the truth, while hiding the names of the various characters it's talking about. Furthermore, we can also find a key. Picking it up leaves a hole in the ground large enough to look through. Doing so, we see this. Once again, we reappear in white space. Again, without the door leading us to our friends, leaving us with no choice but to plunge a knife back into our imaginary belly in order to wake up. Stepping out of bed, we once again hear Kel knocking at our front door, excited to reintroduce us to Hero after so many years spent inside. Heading over to Basil's house to check if he's okay, we knock at the door but get no answer. Later at Kel's house, Basil's caretaker, Polly, visits us to ask about it, saying that he's run off earlier and hasn't come back yet. Worried, we go out and search for him, even leading me to a graveyard behind the church, where I accidentally find out where my older sister Mari has been all this time. Our dearest Mari, the sun shined brighter when she was here. Mari. Feels like so long ago already. I still think about her all the time. I'm sure you do too. You know, when Mari passed away, Hero really stopped caring about everything. He didn't want to get out of bed for school or even eat. He stopped taking care of himself, stopped baking and cooking. It was like that for almost a year. And Mom and Dad didn't really know what to do either. We all tried to help him and be supportive, but nothing was really working. One night, I went over to him while he was all huddled up in his blankets and started saying stuff. Stuff like how we all missed him and how we want him to get better. How everyone is really worried. How Mari wouldn't want to see him like this. I thought I was helping him, but Hero got angry. He suddenly got up and started screaming and yelling at me about a bunch of stuff. Some of it was pretty hurtful too. I think I blocked most of it out. His eyes were already super red, but the more he yelled at me, the harder he cried. I tried my best to calm him down, but whatever I said just made him worse. I'd never seen Hiro do anything close to that before. It really took me by surprise. And I was so scared that, well, I started crying too. Eventually, Mom and Dad ran to our room and rushed over to hug him and calm him down. But they completely ignored me. I think that's where Hiro got his sense back, because he ran to me and hugged me right away. He just kept apologizing over and over. But at least Hiro got a lot better after that. He started taking care of himself again, and focusing on school a lot more, and joining a bunch of extracurricular stuff. He's naturally good at everything, but he still works really hard, so I'm proud of him. I guess he's a little more closed off now than he used to be, but I'm just really glad to have my brother back. Anyways, sorry for the long story. I don't think I've ever told anyone that before. It's not his fault, but I still think Hiro blames himself for Mari's death. Hiro's never visited here. Not even once. I know it really hurts, but maybe it might be good for him. I don't know. This is one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the game, but I also think it's super important, since I think it accurately represents the way in which grief has an effect on people. When people die, especially suddenly, whether due to an overdose, car crash, or simply tapping out, if you understand what I'm trying to say, it's one of the hardest things that you can deal with. When you experience the death of an older family member, it's not a surprise. There's almost these months or even years where you get to mentally prepare yourself as you see them getting older and closer to death. But experiencing the death of a friend or family member in the same age as you is different. Not only are you too young to properly address the most extreme emotion you will ever feel, grief, but you are also likely shaken by your own mortality, making you realize that all of your loved ones could, at any moment, pass away. While Kel doesn't specifically mention why Mari died, either way, it must have been an incredibly traumatic event for everyone in the group, especially Hiro, who, as mentioned, formed the group initially because he had a crush on Mari. Once she passed away, he likely fell into a deep depression, losing interest in his hobbies, hardly eating, and hating himself for not recovering from the loss of his own girlfriend, even lashing out as he struggles to control his emotions. Even now, he can't bring himself to visit her grave, afraid of the emotional response he might have when seeing her gravestone. Luckily, Hiro was able to pick himself up, especially knowing that Mari would want him to. Despite Hiro being a fictional character, this tragedy is something that happens in the real world all the time.
Yeah, boy, I be fucking up, man. It's just, man, homie. I remember back in the day, dog, I used to wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? I used to call your cell phone like, oh, let me talk to my nigga and shit. And that motherfucker would just ring on me. It would just ring. Wouldn't be no voicemail or nothing.
It breaks my heart to think about it, and if you've ever been through it, I'm sorry. I cannot imagine your pain. I literally can't. The worst part is that he blames himself, either for not preventing her death, or simply not spending enough time with her while she was still alive. An incredibly cruel thing to do to yourself. What if I would have called him? What if I would have been there to give him a ride? Maybe he wouldn't have died in that car accident. None of these thoughts are fair, and unlike your feelings, valid. Nobody can predict the future. Not Hiro, not me, and not you. However she did, it's not Hiro's fault that Mari died, and it certainly isn't yours if you've ever been through this exact same thing. My general advice for grief is always this: cry. Most people would tell you to occupy your time with hobbies and work to distract yourself, and while I strongly agree, once you're home from work and lying in bed trying to fall asleep and the emotions start bubbling up to the surface, I want you to cry. Cry to grieve the loss of your relationship, whether because of a friend, family member, or simply over the absence of a relationship that you should have had with your parents. Cry. Let those tears out as much as possible and try not to hold back. Healing does not happen without it, and the sooner you get through it, the less painful it becomes. You are not cursed to feel like this forever, even if it does seem like it. Try to remember that. Back to Finding Basil. We search for him at the park before hearing a scream coming from our old hangout spot. Once we get there, we find Basil once again being bullied by Aubrey and her new friends from before. So what do? Beat the ever-living shit out of us both, of course, to which we both immediately get folded by an omelet, because winning a 2v6 is not possible. You coming, Aubrey? Ah. Oh. Okay. I'll catch you later then. Aubrey. Ah! Why? Why do you guys keep coming back? I just want you to leave me alone. Sonny, why? Why did you show up now? We just wanted you to stop messing with Basil. What's your deal with him all of a sudden? You used to be friends. We all used to be. Come on. Oh, you think I'm the bully, but you're all messed up too. Where were you when Mari died? Where were any of you? And you're the worst, Basil. How dare you still show your face to me after what you did? Aubrey, get away from me! Oh, shoot. What the heck, Aubrey? What are you doing? You've taken this way too far. Wait, hold on. I didn't mean to. Sonny, don't worry about Aubrey. I'll keep her busy. Just go and help Basil. Despite Omori's fear of drowning, we don't hesitate and jump in to save our friend. Once again, we're transported into a dark version of our own home, with our older sister Mari halfway down the stairs. Following her, we descend down deeper and deeper into the depths. Down here, we can see Mari with a dull kitchen knife in front of her. Naturally, we pick it up. The scene plays out just as it did with Omori's other fears, with us calming ourselves down before taking a deep breath and persisting. If you're wondering where these fears came from, it's actually quite simple. In the Lost Library mentioned before, the books actually explain what happened, alleging that the group was jumping off a tall statue at the hangout spot when Omori is too afraid to jump. As a prank, Kel and Hiro pretended that there was a spider on his shoulder, causing him to freak out and fall in the water, where he's rescued by Mari, our older sister. This near-death experience was incredibly traumatic for Omori, creating a deep-seated fear for water, spiders, and heights. But seeing as how our best friend is drowning to death, we shut out our anxiety and push on. Either way, Omori persists through his fear and opens his eyes. Looks like Basil's breathing is steady, but we need to get him somewhere warm quickly. Yeah, he's had a rough day. Let's get him home as soon as possible. Wait! Where do you guys think you're all going? That's enough. Don't you think you've caused enough trouble? Come on, guys, we gotta go. Hiro dives in after us and pulls both us and Basil out of the water, likely saving our lives. With Basil safe and breathing, we rush back to return him to his caretaker Polly, leaving Aubrey left behind to cry herself into a ball of tears, no matter how much we try to turn back and comfort her. We eat dinner with Kel's family and manage to convince their parents to let them stay over for the night. There, the pair of them build a pillow fort next to our bed and Omori drifts away into sleep right alongside him. And as always, as we do, we're shown a new cutscene. Now back in the dream world, all of our friends have vanished, even our older sister Mari. In fact, none of our friends that we usually find at the playground are here, turning more into a ghost town than a playground. Confused, we walk around until eventually turning north, finding our older sister Mari standing on a pier. Mori, you're here. I'm so glad you found me. Kel, Aubrey, and Hero, and all the other children are gone. There's a thick fog enveloping the entire forest. Everywhere except here. Maybe our friends are somewhere across the water. Let's find them together. Do you want to join me? Thanks, little brother. I know I could count on you. I'll keep you company so you're not alone. I know you really hate that. Steady your heartbeat. Don't be afraid. It's not as scary as you think. Curiously, the words Mari uses to help us overcome our fear of drowning are the exact same words that were spoken to us during the nightmare sequence where we overcame it, implying that the voice teaching us how to calm down during these segments is either a ghost version of Mari or simply memories of her that Omori is bringing back up. Once in the water, we swim north. Eventually, Mari and Omori reach a floating window above the water, and while we keep going afterwards, for Mari, this is her final stop. Mori, it seems that you've forgotten something important. Are you okay with that? I'm not too sure. You've seen this curtain once before. The last time I went to the lake. This is my stop, though. I knew I shouldn't have come. It just gets a little lonely without everyone. It's not my place to say anymore, but I hope you're still there, Sonny. I really miss you. Goodbye, little brother. Something that you might have missed or been confused by is the fact that Mari refers to us by the name Sonny instead of Omori. Not only this, but everyone in the real world does so too. Sonny seems to be the real world version of Omori. Either that, or the other way around. Moving on, we descend into the whirlpool and into a deep well to find our friends. Down here, while ominous at first, we actually find a casino where our friends have been forced to work at, allegedly signing contracts that turn them into slaves. This quest isn't too bad, if not a bit drawn out, requiring us to beat the owner in order to free our friends. Once we're reunited, however, the gang seems to have forgotten something. So what were we doing again? We were looking for Basil or something, right? Yeah, that's right, Kel. We were looking for Basil.
Do you think Basil could be somewhere in the last resort? No way. Basil wouldn't be caught dead here. Does he seem like the type of person who would enjoy things like this? I don't know. Does he? Why don't we just go around and ask everyone if they've seen him? The group has seemingly forgotten about Basil, or at the very least is starting to, being able to recognize his name and the importance of finding him, but not his appearance, struggling to draw him from memory. Deeper into the well, this only gets worse, even forgetting parts of Basil's character. Whoa! Just look at this place. There's so many cool plants around. I bet Basil would have really liked it here. Basil? He would have really liked it. Right, guys? Yeah. I'm sure he would have. Huh? What is it? Hey, I have a serious question. Do any of you remember what Basil looks like? Why do you ask that, hero? Let's see here. Basil. Basil loves taking care of flowers and taking photos of his friends. He's warm, calm, and gentle. Even when he's upset, he always manages to smile. The rest is starting to get a little fuzzy. It's okay. Me too, hero. It's like I still miss him, but it's kind of hard to remember why. But that doesn't change anything, right? Even if our memories aren't as strong as they used to be, we still have to save him. Basil's our friend. And more importantly, he needs our help. You're right, Aubrey. I think we've all been apart from Basil for way too long. But I'm sure we'll find him. As long as we have Omori to keep us on track. All this time, Basil has been waiting for us. He could be lost, lonely, or scared. I bet he could use a big hug right now. Then when we're all together, we should all give him a big old hug. Aww. It's nice to see you two getting along so well for a change. I could hug both of you right now. Huh? Me and Kel? Get along? What are you talking about, hero? Stop being weird. Relax, you two. I'm just playing around. Hold on, Basil. We're almost there. We'll all be together soon. As we continue through our dream, the gang seemingly starts to forget everything about Basil, finding a real Basil plant, but not being able to pinpoint why exactly that name means something to them. Basil. Basil? That's the name of this plant here. Aw, it's so cute. Kinda reminds me of something, but I can't remember what. After a bit, we also find Basil's flower crown lying on the ground, bruised and falling apart. Hey look, it's a flower crown! Aww. No. All the flowers are bruised up. It looks kind of familiar. I wonder who this belongs to. Do you think we should try and return it to them? This flower crown is in pretty bad condition. I don't think anybody would want something like that. Yeah, maybe you're right. Kel, what did you do that for? It's fine. You heard what Hero said. No one would want something as bruised up as that. But it used to belong to someone. Kicking it off a cliff is just mean. Huh? Why? Flowers grow back anyways, don't they? Alright, calm down, you two. Kel, apologize to Aubrey. Fine. Sorry. Sorry, Aubrey. Apology not accepted. Sometime later, after getting thoroughly distracted,
The group even forgets about Basil altogether, almost as if it wasn't even worth doing. So, what do you guys want to do now? I'm not sure. Weren't we looking for something? Wait, didn't Hiro mention this before? Yeah, we were just following around Sweetheart, but that situation seems to have resolved itself. No, I'm pretty sure there was something else. Aubrey, you're always worrying about nothing. Come on, you should learn to relax and just enjoy yourself sometimes. I guess that's true. I'm just a little tired of worrying so much. The truth, however, doesn't like to be obfuscated and hidden away, despite what your friends want, especially when we find ourselves at a window in a cave. This window bearing a striking resemblance to the window in the piano room, as well as the one that our older sister Mari leaves us through after she guides us across the water. Here, a mysterious voice speaks to us, encouraging us to seek out the truth by finding various keys strewn across the map. These keys contribute to a game of Hangman. Completing this game gives us the phrase, "Welcome to Black Space," accompanied by another cutscene. A hole has opened up underneath Basil's house. A hole leading to Black Space, a world underneath this one. Through dialogue with a certain NPC, we learn that Black Space is where all of Omori's painful memories and thoughts go to die. And now, for a reason we don't know yet, Basil has been cast down there as well, giving us no choice but to follow him down there. Heading over to his house, we can see that the various flowers Basil planted outside his home have all started to die. Other pieces of vegetation seem to have been impacted as well. As we get closer and closer to Basil's house, the trees around it appear to be dying, foreshadowing a theme of death and decay. Regardless, we push forward, throwing ourselves into the hole and into Black Space in order to find our friend. Eventually, ending up at a church once we go through the final door. This place is called the Temple of Something, and it is our final stop here in Black Space. Entering the church, it's clear that this location is a representation of Mari's funeral. However, instead of Mari, we find Basil on stage instead, restrained by the demon that haunts us both. Sonny, why did it end up like this? Sonny, I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me, my best friend? Upon choosing yes, we're transported into a pitch-black version of our living room, with the only light being an ominous red glow that's coming from outside. There's something out there. It's calling me, and it's calling you too. Let's go together. Following the blood trail left behind by Basil's fingers as he gets dragged, we're brought to a world simply known as Red Space. Littering the ground, we can see smaller versions of that demon that's following us both. Disturbingly, we also find countless dead bodies, all of which belong to Basil. Following the blood trail to the top, we find our friend still very much alive, but instead of helping him as you'd expect, Omori chooses to do this instead. I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me, my best friend? Please, it hurts. Tell them to let go. Wait, what are you doing? Tell them to stop. Please tell them to stop. Help me! In case you don't understand, let me explain. This cutscene aims to reveal to the player what the difference between Sunny and Omori truly is. You see, after the death of Mari, Sunny split into two separate entities, Sunny and Omori. And while Sunny would stay hidden away in his room for the next 4 years, Omori would awaken whenever Sunny dreams, creating a world where Sunny could forever relive his childhood memories and go on adventures, even recreating his friends by using the memories of what they were like when they were kids. Omori is also the younger version of Sunny, hence why Omori wears comfortable clothing such as a tank top and shorts, while Sunny wears a dress shirt and vest that reflects some maturity. But the real difference between Sunny and Omori is not just in their age and appearance, it's in their desires. Sunny wants to find the truth, but Omori wants to hide it, doing everything in his power to try and stop him. Since Omori is the creator, aka dreamer, he ultimately is the one who controls the dream world, choosing to cut Basil down and cast him away into black space in order to hide the truth from himself. Each time this happens, the world resets and Omori wakes up in white space. Shortly after the cutscene ends, Sunny falls out of his bed due to the nightmare, bumping his head and waking him up. In the background, we can hear a faint piano. A piano that gets louder if we leave our room, implying that this isn't just background music, instead being played inside the house itself. Heading to the piano room to investigate, we find this. You know, waltzes were always my favorite. That's why I chose this song for our last recital. But you always hated it, didn't you? I'd lock myself away on the piano. All that practicing. Playing the same song over and over. When you first picked up your new violin, you were so eager to play with me. But keeping up with something isn't so easy. Maybe I pushed you too hard. I'm sorry. I just wanted it to be perfect. We never did get to play that last recital. Do you want to play it with me now? Whoa! You scared me there, Sonny. Sorry for busting in like that. I could have swore I heard some music. You must miss Mari a lot. It's been hard for me too. I still think about her every day. I just don't understand why she chose to leave us the way she did. But I knew her as a person who would always want all of us to be happy, even if it was without her. You should really get some rest. Go upstairs, I'll join you in a bit. Waking up the next morning, Hiro and Kel beat us to it, and are already up and at it, cooking breakfast. What could that be? I'll go get the door. It's you! Ew! What is all this? What the heck, Kel? Huh? What's going on over here? Dang it, Kel. Now I have eggs all over me. Well, I'm sorry, but you were the last person I'd expect to see here. What were you doing here anyways? I was just about to get to that. It's Aubrey. She's not answering her door. Or her back door. Or the rocks we've been throwing at her window. And I know it's your fault somehow. Tell me what you did to her. We didn't do anything. She's the one with the problem. Hold on, Kel. If Aubrey's that upset, we should at least try to do something to help. This is Aubrey we're talking about. We've all known each other since we were kids. You weren't there when she pushed Basil into the lake. I told you she's different now. We shouldn't bother with people like her. It's true that she's changed, but it doesn't change the fact that I still care about her.
Even if she doesn't show it, I'm sure Aubrey still cares about me too. That's just the kind of person she is. I don't know about that. Today is our last chance to do this before Sunny leaves. There's no way I can just let it end like this. We should at least try to talk to her. Heading over to her house, we can see all of her friends gathered outside, worried about her. Knocking at her door, nobody comes to answer it, and being worried for our friend, we head inside. Believe it or not, Aubrey's home is one of the biggest reasons as to why I'm making this video. I'm a firm believer that broken people come from broken homes, and Aubrey's home is a perfect representation of this. Walking in, the place is in complete disarray, with bowls, jars, food stains, trash, and most importantly, empty bottles of alcohol littering the ground. On the couch, we can see Aubrey's mom. Disturbingly, she refuses to talk to us or answer the door, despite being very much awake. Heading to the hallway to find Aubrey's room, we instead realize that Aubrey doesn't have one, being forced to live in the attic instead of being given a proper bedroom. Another thing you'll notice is the absence of Aubrey's father. Back at the church, one of the churchgoers actually comments on it, claiming that her behavior worsened after her father left, implying that he was around at some point. It's also assumed that this is the reason that her mom became an alcoholic, picking up a bottle to drown out her sorrows shortly after being abandoned. When exactly this happened isn't very clear, but the way in which Aubrey's mother handles it is what I'd like to talk about. This is child abuse. Specifically, the most common form of child abuse, that being neglect. As a parent, you have a responsibility to ensure that your child is not only being taken care of in terms of basic needs, but also to prepare them for life properly. Aubrey's mother is doing neither, and the impact it's having on Aubrey is reflected in her personality. If she can't be bothered to talk to her own child's friends, answer the door, clean up literal garbage and empty bottles, or even change her own stained clothing, I highly doubt she can be bothered to care about her own child, let alone talk to her about her problems or mental issues. When children are not taught, well, anything, they grow up with a lot of unresolved problems. They never really had an outlet, someone to talk to about their problems. In this way, Basil and Aubrey are very similar, perhaps explaining how the two of them became friends. When Mari died, I highly doubt her mother helped her through her pain. This pain being the very thing that leads to her poor temperament. Grief is intense, and I have no doubt that the thought of Mari would cause Aubrey intense physical and mental pain. Pain which has to go somewhere. That somewhere being the things and people around her, leading to her lashing out. This could also explain why Aubrey started going to church, likely finding refuge and peace there after attending Mari's funeral. Another factor of child neglect is self-doubt and self-hatred, both of which likely being very painful things for Aubrey to think about. When a parent does not care about their child perceives themselves as not worthy of love, often blaming themselves for their parents' treatment of them, especially after seeing the love and care that other parents give to their children, leading to self-doubt, confusion, and sadness that they often can't explain to themselves at such a young age. While it might be easy to look at a violent adolescent like Aubrey and call her a bad person, the reality of the situation is that you, or I, have no idea what kind of home they go back to every single night. For Aubrey, it's a home without love, a home that doesn't care about her, and a home where she eats, sleeps, and nothing else. Broken homes make broken people, and Aubrey is a fantastic example of that very thing. Let's continue. Heading up to Aubrey's room, we can see that she's made herself a cozy little retreat in the attic, even having a little pen for a pet bunny to live in. Hey Aubrey, how are you feeling? Huh? What the heck are you guys doing in here? Get the hell out of my room! We're sorry for intruding. It'll only take a bit. We just wanted to make sure you were okay. I'm fine! I've been hearing some things. I just wanted to hear from you. Can you tell me what happened yesterday? Nothing happened. You pushed Basil into the lake. You know he can't swim. I didn't mean to do that. It's just... I meant to push him away. He could have drowned. I said it was an accident. Look, I'm sorry, okay? You're the one that keeps showing up and acting like you're better than everyone. Well, you're the one going around bullying Basil and stealing his stuff. Stop talking like you know anything about that. I keep telling you that it's none of your business.
But it is my business. You and Basil, and everyone here, you were my best friends. Hey, these are the missing photos of Mari. They're all I have left of her. But you know it's still not right of you to take them from Basil. These photos belong to him. Well, it's no use now. Even if I have these photos, I already threw the rest away. They must be long gone by now. That's not true, Aubrey. Sonny has them right here.
What? He does? But how?
I could have sworn I threw them away in the trash. Unless you and Sonny...
You really dug through my trash for this thing?
That's kind of gross. Aubrey, let's put Mari's photos back in the photo album. All of these photos. They belong together in one place.
Now as a group, the four of them put the loose photos in Aubrey's possession back into Basil's photo album.
There. Now everything is back where it should be. It looks like one photo's still missing, but at least we have the rest of them back together. Now, doesn't that feel better? We really did have a lot of fun together, huh? Yeah, I guess we really did. I'm sorry, guys. I've been acting like such a jerk. I'm sorry too, Aubrey. I really haven't been treating you so great either. Alright, apologies accepted. Now we can all be friends again. Who wants a hug? Come on now, hero. Not now, you're so embarrassing. I'm good. Thanks. All we need to do now is to check up on Basil. I hope he's feeling better today. Aubrey. Knowing everything I heard from Cal, I'm sure you know you need to apologize to him. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Aubrey. It's good to have you back. Now let's get you out of this house. Okay.
Now with the photo album put back together, the group go over to Basil's house to check on him. Unfortunately, he's in the hospital.
Hey, Polly. How's Basil doing? We were wondering if we could hang out with him today. Oh, hello, everyone. I'm afraid Basil isn't home right now. He's in the hospital. What? What happened? Oh, my apologies. Let me clarify. Basil is in the hospital visiting his grandma. She was rushed to intensive care yesterday evening. Oh no. I'm really sorry to hear that. Do you know when he'll be back? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe sometime in the afternoon. Sorry. Would you mind if we check back here later? We're really worried about him. I don't mind at all. Please come by to visit. I think Basil would really appreciate having some friends over. I'm happy to know that Basil has friends that care that much about him. Oh, it's nothing. Friends are supposed to be there for each other. Right, Aubrey? Yeah, sure. Anyways, we'll check back later. See you, Polly. Okay, see you.
Since we have some time to kill, the four of them decide to go see the old treehouse in our backyard. This is where they most commonly hung out, and also where the tree stump in our dreams is based on, having the exact same layout. But before we get there, we do have some business to attend to. Or rather, Hero does. If you head over to the Fix-It store and buy some flowers, you can lay them at Mari's grave with the others, finally giving Hero his opportunity to move on and get closure in regards to her death.
Hey, Mari. It's me again. Sonny, Kel, and Hero are with me this time. Do you visit Mari's grave a lot, Aubrey? Yeah, I try to, although some days it's a little hard. You guys visit sometimes too, don't you? Every now and then. But maybe I should have visited more often. Hey, Hero. How you feeling? I'm okay. I'm glad we're all here to see her. Hey, Mari. I'm sorry I haven't visited you yet. I was being selfish, I think. It's been such a long time, but I still miss you more than ever. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm just really sorry. Hero, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. Yeah, we're here for you if you need us. Thanks, guys. Don't worry about me too much, okay? Here. This is for you, Mari. From all of us. Now that Hero has some closure, it's time to go see that treehouse one last time, with it likely being destroyed by the new owners of the home after we leave. This is where Mari... Yeah, it is. Feels like forever ago, but I can still remember that day perfectly. That day was really busy. In the morning, I went out with Mom to buy some nice clothes and shoes. We spent all day shopping and didn't get home until the afternoon. I remember that day too. Went out to get a haircut with Dad. Oh yeah, you were there with your dad too, huh, Aubrey? We were preparing for something, weren't we? Yeah, we were. We were going to watch Mari and Sunny's music recital. It was supposed to be that night, but then we came home in the evening. Even after all this time, I still don't understand why she would do it. I don't think any of us ever will. Hey guys, let's keep going. Moving on, the group head through an opening in the trees and climb up a ladder into our treehouse. As our friends reminisce over their old belongings, Sunny finds a final photo missing in the photo album, taped to a wall. Hey, look, Sunny found a photo of us. We all look so happy. Wasn't there a photo missing from the photo album? That must be it. Hey, you're right, Kel. Take out your photo album, Sunny. We should add it in. With the photo album complete, we take a collective final look at our memories together, causing Aubrey to tear up. Oh, Mari. I miss her so much. I miss her too. Hey, come on, guys. Why the long faces? Look at all of us back here together again. Mari would be so happy for us. Yeah, you're right. She would be. If only Basil could be here too. Huh? Hey Aubrey, what's up? You know, after everyone drifted apart, I felt so alone. But now I realize that I was the one who was pushing everyone away. In the few months after Mari died, everything changed so fast. Sunny and Basil became more closed off. Kel made a bunch of friends playing sports. And Hero always seemed to be busy studying. I was so angry at how life kept moving on.
I felt like everyone abandoned me, and abandoned Mari too. But I couldn't see that everyone was dealing with the pain in their own way. After Sunny stopped coming to school, I saw Basil sitting alone during lunch, so I asked him if he wanted to study together at his house. He seemed kind of uneasy about it at first, but after I begged him, he agreed. The walk there was really quiet. Basil wouldn't even look at me. And when we got to his room, I tried to talk to him, but he said he had to go to the bathroom and ran off. That's when I spotted his old photo album on his bookshelf. I wanted to go through these photos because, well, I guess I wanted to see everyone happy again. But when I opened it, Basil had blacked out all of the photographs with marker. I couldn't believe it. He had even blacked out Mari's face. All of our memories together. It felt like he had destroyed them. I was so confused and angry. I thought that he was just a nutcase. So, instead of trying to understand him, I stole his photo album and started calling him a creep and things like that. And eventually, I wasn't the only one calling him names. I feel like scum for that now. But, you know what? Ever since then, all I've been doing is trying to cut myself off from everyone. It's kind of funny. What I've been doing is worse than what Basil did. Yet I'm the one who was angry at him. I'm such an idiot. Hey, it's okay, Aubrey. We've all made mistakes. At that time, I didn't really understand what was happening. I was afraid that I'd somehow make things worse. So I just decided to stay out of all of it. I'm really sorry, Aubrey. I'm really sorry to you too, Sonny. I was a pretty crappy friend. We were all still pretty young then, Kel, but I'm the oldest. I should have known to take care of everyone. I just... No, it's fine. Everyone's here now. So it's okay. I don't deserve friends like you. Don't be silly, Aubrey. Of course you do. During all this time, it's pretty obvious that you still cared about us. I mean, just look at the photos in the photo album. There's no trace of any of the black marks you were talking about anywhere. You can still see all of our faces just fine. I don't suppose they all just cleat themselves, did they? It's alright, Aubrey. I promise from now on, I'll always be there for you. Yeah, I promise too. We should all be here for each other. Hey, you know what? I think this is the perfect time for a big group hug. Group hug! Oh yeah, count me in. Wait just a second. Ready or not, here we come. We should go see if Basil is back home later today. I need to apologize to him. And I think right now, he's probably the one that needs us the most. Heading over to Basil's house in order for Aubrey to apologize, we come across a strange sight on the way over there. Standing in the middle of the road, we can see Basil's grandma, awake and standing up, only to fade away, turning out to be a ghost. For us, this might just be a weird hallucination, but for Basil, the ghost of his grandmother wandering the streets can only mean one thing: she passed away. Heading over to Basil's house and being greeted by Polly, we learn that our suspicions are likely correct, with Basil storming off to his bedroom to cry after coming back home. Being invited in, we head over to Basil's room to try and convince him to come out. Hi Basil, it's Hiro. I'm here with Kel, Aubrey, and Sunny. We're all here to see you.
Is there anything we can do to help? We just wanted to let you know that we're here. Let us know if you need anything, okay? Maybe he just needs some time to himself. I'm really sorry to bother you. Hey, Basil. This is Omori. I just want to say that I'm sorry for the way I've been treating you. Will you please say something? We just want to know that you're okay. I think we should stay here for him. Yeah. Last time we all made the mistake of leaving each other when we needed each other the most. This time, we'll stay together. Polly, do you think we can sleep here for the night? Oh, you're all so kind. Of course you can stay over. After worryingly getting no response from Basil, we decide to sleep over, promising to not leave Basil like we did before, hopefully being there for him as soon as he's ready to come back outside. As we wait, the group watches TV and eats snacks late into the night, with Molly giving us blankets and pillows after the sun goes down. As we sit there in silence, unsure if our best friend is a corpse in the other room, Kel, Aubrey, and Hero all start getting tired and planning on going to sleep, hopefully being there for Basil when they wake up. Us, however, our night is very, very far from over. For the very first time in this game, instead of playing as Omori, Sunny's dream world counterpart, we play as Sunny himself. There's a problem though. The door that would otherwise take us into Headspace and let us access Basil's house isn't here. Luckily, we don't need it. If you remember back to Blackspace, you'll notice that the reason it's so dark is because of the absence of the light bulb that usually hangs above Omori's head in Whitespace. Knowing this, Sunny unscrews the light bulb and casts himself back into Blackspace. Here in Blackspace, Sunny directly confronts what he's been hiding from, starting with the demon that's been following us and cycling between all of our irrational fears. As we fight to calm ourselves down and focus, the monster starts to take on a new form, initially being blurred, but soon being more clear. As it does, our lungs tighten, our heart feels like it's beating out of our chest, and our fingers won't stop trembling. And yet, Sunny persists, and he starts to hear his breath and heart rate begin to steady. After beating something, Sunny is rewarded with a light bulb, which he can promptly screw in, transporting him to a meadow. Here, Sunny continues north until he eventually comes across Basil, standing in front of a large tree. Sunny, you're finally here. I've always dreamed that you would come back for me, but maybe it's too late. The truth of that day will be hard to accept. When you see it, you have to stay strong. And if you can, please, forgive me. As Basil steps aside, we enter a hole in the tree, leading us to the truth. A meadow, like the last one, except red and ominous. In front of the gates, we find the various pictures that reveal to us what happened to Mari. And at the very top, at a great big tree, we finally put the pieces together. Normally, when looking at photos in Basil's photo album, they often come with short bits of context written by Basil. However, with these photos, the text is scratched and unavailable. Luckily, we can retrieve this text within the scrapped parts of the game's files, giving us far more insight into what actually occurred. After receiving a violin for Christmas, Mari convinced Sunny to join her in an onstage recital. For this, they both practiced extensively, even to the point where Sunny's fingers would hurt. Before the recital, Sunny was practicing once again on his violin, frustrated from his fingers hurting, causing him to make more and more mistakes. With his fingers shaking in pain and frustrated, Sunny threw his violin, shattering at the bottom of the stairs. Once Mari came around the corner and saw what happened, she became furious, screaming at Sunny for ruining his chance on stage and scolding him for breaking such an expensive gift. While Mari is screaming at him, Sunny tries to run away, only for Mari to block the stairs. To get away, Sunny would push his sister, leading to her falling down the stairs, step by step, before snapping her neck and landing atop the broken violin. Sunny calls out his sister's name, but he gets no answer. He climbs down the stairs, trying to shake his sister awake without success. She must be sleeping, Sunny thought, carrying her body up the stairs and resting her corpse on her bed in the hopes of her waking up. Here, Sunny would retreat inward into his mind, trying to distract himself from the waking nightmare of a situation that he got himself into, creating white space. It's not clear how long Sunny waited at her bedside for Mari to wake up, but what is clear is that at some point, Basil would come over and visit his best friend, finding him devastated, afraid, and unresponsive. Not wanting to lose his best friend, Basil came up with a plan that he would never forgive himself for, helping Sunny carry his sister's dead body down the stairs and into our backyard. Here, Basil would tie a noose around Mari's neck, stringing her up on a nearby tree to look like a suicide so Sunny wouldn't be charged with murder. Looking up after feeling something cold squeeze his hand, Sunny sees Basil guiding him back into the house as tears run down his face. Suddenly, Basil stops. Sunny looks up at his eyes, but this time, they're wide awake, staring at something. You turn your eyes towards it as well, although you wish you didn't. To avoid being reminded of what happened to Mari, Sunny would stop coming out of his room, leaving Basil abandoned and racked with guilt. Both Basil's guilt and Sunny's guilt manifest themselves into the real world inside their own heads, not being visible to anyone else but Sunny and Basil, who can both see each other's. These monsters are referred to as something in-game, and while Sunny's something is a traumatizing memory of Mari's eye staring back at him after she was hung, Basil's something is a monster that is quite literally eating him alive. Now that Basil's grandma is dead and Sunny is moving away tomorrow, Basil once again feels like he's about to be abandoned and alone, driving him to the brink of suicide. Jolting awake out of our sleep, we storm into Basil's room in an attempt to save him, being surprised to find Basil awake and staring outside a window.
Sunny, it's just you. I'm glad you came. It's so good to see you. I came to you that day, the day Mari died. When Mari fell, you couldn't have done it. It was something behind you, wasn't it? You're such a good person, Sunny. I know you're a good person. A good person wouldn't do something like that. After all this time, you finally come back for me. But tomorrow, you're going away.
How could you do that? That's mean, Sunny. That's so mean.
There's something all around us now. Can you see it, Sunny? There's no way out of this, is there?
Where are you going? Stop trying to leave me. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. I don't want to be alone. Not again.
You can't leave me again. No. You wouldn't leave me. That's not like you, Sonny. It's something behind you again, isn't it? There it is now. Do you see it? Stay away! Stay away from Sonny! I'll protect you no matter what, Sonny. You can count on me. When something killed Mari, when something ruined all my photos, I didn't say anything. I didn't want people to think it was you, Sonny. Sonny wouldn't do something like that. Don't worry, Sonny. I'll save you again. Something behind you. I'll get rid of it once and for all. Sonny, don't be scared. I'm scared too, but this is for the best. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything is going to be okay. With the Basil manic, the two boys fight as Basil attempts to kill Sonny's demon by stabbing him in the eye with a pair of gardening scissors, likely seeing Sonny himself as his something. Luckily, Basil doesn't end up killing Sonny, and neither does Sonny kill Basil, fighting violently and drawing blood on each other before both collapsing on the ground and being found by Polly, rushing us both to the hospital where we survive. While unconscious, Sonny dreams of his old neighborhood one last time, remembering the day before the recital. Outside, we see Basil waiting for us. Hey, Sonny. You found your way back home. I don't know if I've ever said this properly, but I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble. When I gave you my photo album, I really did want you to have it. But somehow, whenever I try to help, I always end up burdening you instead. Even back then. All this pain we've been feeling, the guilt in our hearts. Even if you try to bottle it all up, it all comes out somehow. I want to say that everything will be okay, that we have no choice but to carry on, but that's up to you. Aubrey, Kel, and Hero are good friends. You have to trust that they'll forgive us. It's hard to truly believe that, but the photos in our album, they're not just photos. They're real memories. Our memories. It's proof of our friendship. Hold those pictures close, and remember what you want to protect. I'm sorry. It looks like I'm burdening you again. The path to your future will open soon, but only you can decide what to do in the end. It's not much, but I'll be cheering you on. Sonny, let's make some new memories together, okay? Walking into our home, we find it decorated with all of our furniture that has already been packed up in the real world. Even the family painting is still there, giving us a good look at what Sonny's parents actually looked like. In the piano room, we find Mari playing the piano music we hear in the background. Sonny, it's almost time. You've been through a lot these past few days. You must be tired. We all make mistakes. You've been running from this one for a long time now. It's tough to own up to them sometimes, but you'll forgive yourself, won't you? You can do this, Sonny. You've worked really hard to get to this point. There's only one thing left to do now. Know that I'll always be watching over you, okay? As long as you remember me, I'll be here.
While leaving, we can spot a brand new door that we've never seen before, or at least what Sonny allows himself to look at. Going through it, we find an old storage closet filled with cardboard boxes. In the corner, a toy box. We find it. The violin. Strands of Mari's hair still entangled in its strings. Leaving the house, Sonny steps out into a rainy and dark road, quite literally called Memory Lane in the game's files. Here, Sonny can stand in the spotlight cast down by one of the light posts, transporting him to a memory that Sonny tried to forget when he blocked Mari out of his mind. The first of these memories is that of them playing cards in Sonny's treehouse. The others are of them at the beach, eating watermelon, having a picnic at the lake, playing in the rain, celebrating Basil's birthday, and finally, a memory of the Christmas where Sonny got his violin. Each time he visits one of these memories, the violin slowly starts mending itself, eventually being fully playable again by the time we reach the Christmas memory where Sonny received it as a gift. Once we finish reliving all these memories, we find a black door at the top of Memory Lane. Walking through it, we're taken backstage.
Sonny, you're finally here. After this point, it's going to be up to you. You know, before we met, I had a lot of trouble fitting in. Even after we all became friends, I always assumed you were going to leave me eventually. But when the others were busy doing things, you always seemed to have time for me. You would listen to me talk for hours and hours. I could always rely on you to do that. I know we've missed out on each other for the past few years, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And people always tell me that I'm dense or I'm kinda careless, but I'll always be here for you if you're okay with that. Sonny, we know that you're not someone who likes to take the lead. This has been really hard for you. But you have to put a little bit of trust in us too. Just because you've done something bad doesn't make you bad. You've had to live with this pain for so long, and you've been keeping it all inside. It might be easier to ignore your problems, but it's okay to cry about them too. There's more good times to come. Life gets better. And you can be the one to make that happen. Whatever happens next is going to be your call. But we're here for you because you want us to be. And we really hope that this isn't goodbye.
Walking up onto stage, we approach the empty music stand, placing our sheet music atop it and readying our violin. As Sonny finishes his final note, he puts away his violin and collapses to his knees, for the very first time, grieving the death of his sister as tears run down his face. While Sonny has done all he can to heal,
he still has one more thing to do in white space before he can move on. Kill Omori. As Sunny approaches, Omori readies his kitchen knife, already knowing that this is a fight to the death. Each time Omori attacks, he reminds Sunny of his wrongdoings, telling him that he doesn't deserve forgiveness and convincing him that his friends will abandon Sunny after telling them the truth. Unfortunately for Sunny, this fight is scripted in Omori's favor, as with each lethal blow, Omori will not succumb, eventually leading to Sunny's death. When we do, the game presents us with a typical game over screen. Usually, these would take you back to the start of the fight, only to do it all over again. This time though, the choice holds a little bit more weight. This time, instead of giving us the option to either run or attack, the game gives us another option, a big button simply titled Play. After Sunny finishes playing, Omori accepts defeat as Sunny collapses into his arms, dropping his kitchen knife and fading away into the white space where he came from. With a goal in mind, Sunny stands up straight afterwards, going to visit Basil in the other room. Once we get there, Sunny walks in and another cutscene plays. Omori has quickly become one of my favorite games over the course of making this video.
Its portrayal of mental illness is exceptional, and the characters' reactions to the tragedies that happen to them could not be more spot on. It's very easy to succumb to the negative thoughts and perceptions of ourselves in our own heads. Each one of us has our own version of Omori beating us down day by day. It's important to separate these thoughts from reality, because accepting them as such makes life far, far harder than it has to be. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Bro, I have been editing for like 20 fucking hours straight. This is not a joke. I ran out of time. I was gonna cover the fucking bad endings, but I ran out of time, so fucking, I don't know. I'm too tired for an outro, bro. Thank you for watching. See ya.
I'm tired, boss.